What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, keeping you up to date on all the latest wrestling news, rumors, and reports. We got a lot to talk about following this weekend's WWE pay-per-view and last night's Monday Night Raw. Multiple superstars out of action. Another major matchup that WWE is planning for SummerSlam. Major changes when it comes to call-up to the main roster. Reason for Raw superstar gimmick change, and much more. So just turn on those notifications and let's get right into it. Lots of questions coming out of this weekend's WWE pay-per-view and last night's Monday Night Raw. So let's get into those reports. First off, we had Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and as we got to see in that match, there was a big spot where Sami Zayn did an outside dive and Kevin Owens immediately got up and sold his arm as if it was a really injury. That was a main focus of the match all throughout, ultimately leading Sami Zayn to pick up the victory. Some fans even thought that he might have been injured, but that doesn't seem to be the case. That was part of the match. After the match though, Kevin Owens went on Twitter and indicated that he feels like hell and that it is now time for him to take a little bit of a break, but that he will be back soon. The latest reports in regards to this whole situation indicate that Kevin Owens will be taking some time off. However, this is all part of a storyline. He's simply taking time off to continue selling the arm injury. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, as it stands right now, there's no word yet on how long he will be kept off television, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna be missing that much, maybe just a couple of weeks. I will certainly keep you guys updated on it. Another big question for the last 4 weeks has been, where is Damian Priest? The man that got a massive victory at WrestleMania next to Bad Bunny and then also defeated John Morrison right after that. So you will think that he will be on television because John Morrison and The Miz are back on television already. According to reports, it all comes down to an injury. It was previously reported right before WrestleMania that Damian Priest was suffering an injury before his WrestleMania 37 matchup, but he pulled through with it and still ended up giving us that match. Damian Priest later ended his feud with The Miz at WrestleMania Backlash, and he teased the fact that it was time to move on to something else, to a different opponent, maybe start chasing a championship and so on. Obviously that didn't happen since we haven't seen him since that Raw after WrestleMania Backlash. The Wrestling Observer Radio went on to add that the specific injury is related to the back and he had just been taking some time off to heal that off before coming back. No actual reports on when he's coming back. I would have loved to see him be part of the Money in the Bank matchup, but the Monday Night Raw side of things is already filled up as they did qualifying matches. And the last spot is going to go to either Drew, Randy Orton, or AJ Styles next week as they got a last chance match. On to some other news and some big reports in regards to SummerSlam. As we previously reported, WWE has planned to stock up that pay-per-view match card because they want a WrestleMania level show in Las Vegas. John Cena versus Roman Reigns is still planned for the show, with John Cena returning on the July 16 episode SmackDown to set up the match. That return though is not confirmed just yet, but that is what most reports are currently indicating. Another massive SmackDown matchup that is being planned for the show will involve Edge. Edge is also scheduled to return soon and he is being advertised for the July 16 SmackDown episode. Now WrestleVotes went on to drop a huge report on the 3 big main event. They indicated that along with Roman Reigns versus John Cena for SummerSlam, WWE is planning to stock up the SmackDown side with an Edge versus Seth Rollins matchup, which will be a first time ever match between these two superstars. So between that and also that potential Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley matchup, WWE is really looking to deliver for SummerSlam, and I'm all down for that. Onto some weird news. We know that Karrion Kross and also Bronson Reed has been called up to the main roster to work some dark matches so that WWE could try them out and get them ready for that SmackDown or Monday Night Raw debut. We know there were on SmackDown last week, now PW Insider is indicating that they were also on Monday Night Raw. And the weird thing about all of this is that apparently their matches is going to be part of this week's WWE's main event, which airs later this week on Hulu and on the WWE Network for fans outside of the United States. And I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't sound like a good idea. If you're not ready to debut them on Raw or SmackDown, don't put them on WWE's lowest weekly show. I remember when NXT call-ups used to mean something. If WWE starts doing this, it's not gonna be special anymore. It's not gonna be a surprise. It's not gonna be significant. All of that aspect is being taken away if you're just gonna put it in WWE main event for hardly anyone to watch. And what's just gonna happen is that we're just gonna end up watching the clips over on Twitter or here on YouTube and not even caring about it. To make things even worse, according to the Wrestling Observer, WWE is looking to split Karen Cross and Scarlett for main roster call-ups. It looks like they don't want to bring them in as a unit, which makes no sense because they work so well as an actual pairing. This report comes from the fact that WWE is reportedly talking about bringing Scarlett to the next SmackDown tapings to do her own tryout match. Obviously, this doesn't guarantee that they are splitting them up, but the fact that they also didn't have Scarlett at ringside for cross match on main event this week does suggest that WWE might indeed be looking at splitting them up. Not necessarily a fan of this. I actually hate when WWE calls someone up and then they just change them around, especially if whatever they were doing on NXT was working. Obviously, if it wasn't working, changing it makes sense, but otherwise it just doesn't. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And getting into our quick recap for this week's Monday Night Raw. First off, a huge credit to WWE for actually doing qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. It really feels like that is something that they forget a lot of times. These qualifying matches just makes the match itself more important and the build to Money in the Bank way better. With that said, the night started off with who will be Bobby Lashley's next challenge. Out comes Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston go on to challenge Bobby Lashley to a match at the Money in the Bank, of course, for the WWE Championship, because as Kofi Kingston reminded Bobby, he actually beat him just a couple of weeks ago. Bobby Lashley accepts, but he wants that Money in the Bank matchup to not have any type of interferences, especially from Xavier Woods. So he says he wants a match tonight. Xavier Woods accept, and they make it a Hell in a Cell match because the cell is still hanging above the ring, so why not? WWE really went out this weekend and just gave us the most Hell in a Cell matches we could ever see in one weekend. First qualifying match for Money in the Bank, we got Ricochet defeating AJ Styles in one-on-one competition. On the women's side of things, we had Asuka and Naomi defeated Eva Marie and Doudrop, as Doudrop wasn't too happy that Eva Marie named her like that, and that obviously she is just using her to get those victories, hoping that Doudrop is just a placement name. Obviously WWE is getting a lot of backlash for this, and now that she already split from Eva Marie or is having some tension, I really hope that she just go back to being Piper Niven. Seems like that is what it's leading to. I'm actually just surprised and happy about what went down on this match. Eva Marie taking a loss, Asuka and Naomi qualifying for Money in the Bank, and Piper Niven getting a big spotlight. We had John Morrison defeating Randy Orton due to the distraction of The Miz, and also Matt Riddle. Obviously Matt Riddle wanted to help Randy, but it just played out into more of a distraction towards him. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeated Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax to also qualify for the Money in the Bank match. Big highlight here is of course Nikki Cross' brand new superhero-like gimmick. I'm gonna let her play it out and see where WWE goes with this before bashing it. Also, I want to support this brand new change because apparently this was Nikki Cross' idea and WWE approved it. So let's see what she does with it. It looks like she has a lot of plans for it, so I really want to see it played out. I don't think the change was necessary, but in this she wants to showcase that she is developing and evolving, getting that spirit inside of her. And she also added that she's gonna be writing riding this momentum to Money in the Bank and beyond. Her husband Killian Dame also confirmed the fact that this was Nikki Cross' idea. In another qualifying match, we had Matt Riddle defeating Drew McIntyre with a roll-up, because clearly a roll-up is Drew McIntyre's kryptonite. And then for the main event, we had a really good Hell in a Cell matchup, which it looks like the USA Network ended up getting what they wanted, because they complained that SmackDown had a Hell in a Cell match, but they didn't. Well, now they did. This was a banger of a match. Bobby Lashley is a complete beast. We had Xavier Woods delivering some awesome spots, including a massive elbow drop, and it added to the storyline of Bobby versus Kofi coming up on Money in the Bank. At the end, Bobby Lashley defeated Xavier Woods, and while locked in the Hell in a Cell, he continued to attack Xavier Woods, while Kofi Kingston was locked out of it. Honestly, not the worst Monday Night Raw. Really enjoyed the qualifying matches. It gave the show a good flow, and honestly, it had a good main event. And I hope Vince was watching. You gotta give Xavier Woods a chance and put that strap on him for a bit. His promos are fire. He's one of the best wrestlers, and we've been knowing that he could hang in that main event. Anyways, guys, I thank you for watching. That is what I got for you. If you enjoyed or found that informative, don't forget to elbow drop it and hit those notifications. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.